I am pretty anal when it comes to writing. It depends what stage of the book I'm at, but generally in the first draft of a book, I get up in the morning, I take my dog for a walk, generally to generate ideas, and then I'm at my desk by 9 in the morning, and I write 5 pages every day, double space, straight to computer. And that kind of encourages me to write a bit more dialogue than I might otherwise, because then I get my 5 pages done quicker. And this is the process I have. So I write 5 pages a day until I complete a manuscript, and that takes me about 3 to 4 months. And then really I begin the second draft, which is probably my favourite stage of writing, and that's when I endlessly rework and revise the draft and really pull the book together, which is the bulk of the work that I do. And when I'm doing that, I just work all day for as many hours as I can. And generally I try and write every day just to keep the momentum going. I find that's really important. And if I sort of skip a day, I become a bit grumpy, and I'm not a very pleasant person to be around. So yeah, working every day is a key thing for me. Generally, I've been quite fortunate when I'm working on a second draft that the fundamentals of the story don't really change. The backbone of the story stays the same, and generally the plotting of the book will follow the same rough path and the same kind of timetable. But most of what I'm doing is hunting out those logic flaws, hunting out those areas where I can develop certain themes and certain character traits in particular, really working on building characters to make them more human for the reader. And the other big thing is just the flow and the rhythm of the book. I really like style when I'm reading a novel. That's something that really appeals to me. The writers I most admire write in a very stylistic way, and in my own way I try and follow that as much as I can and kind of hone the craft. And I think it's famously said that writing is rewriting, but it certainly is for me. My big hero is Raymond Chandler, which I know crime fans sometimes roll their eyes at because so many crime authors say this, but he's really the guy that got me into writing crime fiction. He's the guy that fired me up about crime fiction, and just his style is so fantastic that it really drew me in. In terms of Safe House, Harlan Coben was a very big influence. He writes these terrific stories, particularly his standalone titles. I love about the ordinary guy caught up in extraordinary circumstances, and I think very cleverly balances humour with suspense and thrills. And so I was aiming to do something towards that end of the spectrum. But there's a great number of writers I really admire who are writing these days. A particular favourite is Megan Abbott, who writes more noir kind of tales. But generally I read a wide amount of crime fiction, something I enjoy greatly. So I'm always open to new books and new authors. I loved writing a standalone title because there is this sensation in the series that your characters are going to be repeat characters, which diminishes the peril they're in to a certain extent. And so writing Safe House as a standalone title meant that everything was up for grabs, anything might happen, and that's very refreshing. It leaves the book with many more possibilities for me as a writer. However, having said that, there's 1 or 2 characters in the book that I enjoyed writing about so much that perhaps in the future I might revisit them. There's the character of Rebecca Lewis, a private investigator who teams up with Rob, and she's a particularly strong sort of female character, I think, very ballsy, very gutsy, very capable. I think she would justify and merit a story on her own perhaps, but for the time being I'm writing another standalone and enjoying that flexibility of being able to do whatever I like as a blank canvas.